How much time and how much money does it take to go from a 20 handicap down to a single-digit handicap? We're embarking on one of the longest and arguably hardest golf journeys that there are. Everybody wants to know, what does it take and how expensive is it? I would say that honestly, nobody really knows. So we're actually gonna start to answer that question and see, what does it actually take? We're gonna document every hour, every dollar, every single thing that it takes for me to go from roughly a 20 handicap all the way down to a single digit. Are you thinking 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand? How much do you think it's gonna cost? So rule number one, I'm gonna play one handicap scored round every single week, where I play by every single rule, tournament style, count every stroke, no mulligans. Rule number two, I'm gonna count every single round that I play, every green fee, every lesson, every golf ball, every single thing that it takes. Personal training sessions, club fittings, golf clubs. I'm gonna track everything over the course of this project to see exactly how much money does it actually cost to be a single digit handicapper. The next rule, rounds that I film for content. Obviously, a lot of you have found my channel through other means, other videos that I've done, and you see me taking mulligans and stuff like that to make funny content. That's still gonna count, but those rounds are gonna be deemed as practice rounds. That's why once a week, I'm gonna play a full tournament style round. So those rounds where I'm playing 4-man scrambles with the boys or whacking 4 balls off the tee box, those are all gonna be counted as practice rounds. Another thing that I know people are gonna ask, so I'm gonna answer it anyways, is country club memberships or rounds that other people pay for me to play. All of that stuff counts as well. It's not about how much does it cost me, it's about how much does it cost an average person. I know a lot of you are also gonna ask about sponsored content. Let's say I get a ball sponsorship from somebody and they send me a couple cases of balls, right? Well, just because I got them for free doesn't mean you would get them for free, and it's not about how much it costs me, it's about how much it would cost you. But the basics of all of this is how many hours does it take, over how many days, and how many dollars. So if you think you have an idea of how much it would cost, drop a comment on it. Let's see who gets the closest. So on paper, I'm technically a 16 handicap. Those of you who know me from my short form content, you know that I've said that multiple times. I'm a 16 handicap. It's kind of like a joke at this point. The reason why it's a 16 is because about 2 years ago, I was getting ready to play in a tournament and I had to have a handicap that was established. So I started entering my scores. At that time, I was actually playing really, really well. And when you first do your handicap, it generally spits out a number that is significantly lower, and then you continue to enter your scores and it eventually plateaus significantly higher than where it starts out. I just never stuck with entering scores or keeping scores. So that's what today was to start that journey. And just when I finally started to get it figured out, this happened. Quick intermission. I tried doing some filming, but they're doing a ton of maintenance out here today, and I got the girl with the leaf blower, like trailer behind her, tailing me, blowing all over the place. It's gonna ruin the audio, so I'm calling an audible. I'm packing up from the country club. I'm going to the Nash. I'm gonna go out there and continue playing. We are at the best place to golf on earth, the Nash. My boy Ross.
Hey.
I'm asking him about my new series. So
all right.
We're documenting how much money and how much time does it take to go from a double-digit handicap to a single-digit handicap?
Okay.
What is your guess? How many hours or months or days do you think it's going to take, and how much money do you think it's going to take?
Ooh, okay, so I have a couple of questions. Are we at this every day? Is this an every single day event?
As much as possible. And this includes all personal training. This is every lesson, every fitting, every golf club, every golf ball, every range fee.
And you're trying to get down from double digits to single?
To a 9.9.
To a 9.9 from a 10.0?
I'm probably at like a 20 right now.
Okay, so let's be honest. What number are we coming from to a 9.9? If you were working on it every single day, very serious about it, I would probably say 6 months.
6 months, and how much money do you think?
How much money do you think it would take? 6 months? Oh man.
That's every personal training session, every swing lesson.
The technology you have, the clubs and all that included?
Everything. No discounts or anything. Like how much do you think an average person it would take? Like
10,000.
10,000? Okay, what about you? What do you think?
12,000.
12,000? See, mine is probably going to be north of 20 grand.
20?
20 grand.
Doubling than what I said.
But it's also, keep in mind, there's going to be like some Pinehurst trips in there, and like maybe some Tobacco Road.
Sure.
And so I'm not counting travel,
Couple
but like
of spoilers in there.
There's going to be some expensive courses I'm going to play. So
Little splurges.
I'd say probably
15.
He's saying 15. I'm thinking it's going to be 20 to 30. I decided to scrap playing an actual handicapped round, and I just played from the forward tees using the long irons. Not necessarily to try and score with the long irons, but just to actually put it in play with a little bit of pressure. You know, like anyone can sit there at the range and smack them all day, but today was just working on the long irons. All right, that's the end of the round. We're finished here at the Nash. Just a practice round today, really working on the irons and the wedges, more so the irons, like the 4-iron, long irons kind of stuff. Comfortable with the wedges and the shorter irons, but the 4 and the 5 have been giving me trouble. So that's basically what today was, just try to really practice attacking with those clubs from the forward tees. So now you're gonna ask me, why are you including your personal training sessions in this? Well, for those of you who don't know, I was in a pretty bad motorcycle accident a while ago, and I ended up breaking my back in multiple places, contusion in my left foot, 3 broken metatarsal on my right foot, I snapped my thumb in half, so this is very important to me and to improving my game. I got a lot of flexibility problems that I'm trying to work through and trying to make this work. Now on to some actual range practice. As you saw there, I've got the drill where you take the basket and you put one of your alignment sticks straight out and you try to swing underneath it. I hate that drill, but it's actually really good. Now this is my favorite drill. I call this the field goal drill. I'm sure there's an actual name for it, but basically the goal is to set up the sticks where you're trying to start the ball and not to hit the stick like that. 2781. All right, time to start totaling everything up, and I do apologize. There is some stuff that I forgot to film, but I'm just gonna jump around and try and get you all caught up and try and show you why I wasn't able to film. I had to spend 6 days in Virginia. I was there at the Solheim Cup, had an absolute blast. Then I had to fly home to Florida. 2 days later, fly back to North Carolina, pack up my house, move that down to Florida. Then I had like 5 days, and then I had to go fly to Myrtle Beach for 5 days, and then I just finally got back, so I apologize, but I'm gonna put the totals on screen here so you can see everything now. It's going to be hours on one column and dollars on the other column. So the number that you see there for the rounds of golf, that's not how many rounds I've played, that's how many hours I've played. So if every round, if it's 18 holes, is 4 hours, every round, if it's 9 holes, is 2 hours. This is just to keep things simple because sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes shorter, depending on how the pace of play is, but it all is going to average itself out. Now, some of you know I'm good friends with Ben Haddon. He actually just also moved here to Florida, so we're going to be playing a lot, and I figured I would ask him the same question I'm asking everybody that I meet. So this is what he thinks. You know the series. How much money and how much time do you think it's going to take?
So what are you at right now?
I'm technically a 16, but I haven't really input scores in about a year, so I'm putting in my my most recent few rounds to actually get it up to current. I would guess I'm around like an 18 or a 19.
Oh wow, okay.
I mean, you've seen me play.
I've seen you play, yeah. I as an 18 or a 19, I think the most strokes you could save would actually be in your routine and like your self-talk and how you approach the game from like a mental standpoint. Because you spend a lot of time, and it's tough. It's going to be tough for you because I don't know that you can get to a single-digit handicap without shedding the like I suck persona.
That's fair.
I think you need to. I think eventually you're going to need to start thinking of yourself as a good golfer before you actually become a good golfer.
That's fair.
And it's going to be interesting for you because like so much of your content is around how bad you are at golf. That like just getting over that mental hurdle is going to be tough. But I think a couple things you could action right now, this isn't answering your question, I guess, but for 5 seconds before you step into the shot, don't say anything. Just focus on the shot. And from the time you step into the shot to the time you hit it, don't say anything, just focus on the shot. There's a lot of stuff that gets cut out of YouTube videos where there's high-level players that do YouTube. My editor has edited for them. There's like 30 seconds where they don't say anything before a golf shot, where they're locking in, they're going through the routine, and they're doing all the stuff that's required to actually execute. And I think that's the kind of stuff we need to get you working on if you're going to trim those shots down, just because like your swing can be amazing. You can have a great short game, great drive it great off the tee. I think your biggest thing is going to be just getting in here and convincing yourself that you're a good player first.
Okay. So how many, as far as the dollar amount goes?
Yes.
And this is every personal training session, every green fee, every golf ball, every club, fittings, lessons, everything. How much money do you think it's going to take? And then after that, how many hours or days or months, how much time do you think it's going to take?
I think for you to get from a 19 to a 9, we'll say you're a 19 right now, so take 10 strokes off your game. This is hard for me to think of because I actually haven't had to calculate like green fees. But
what do you think your gut reaction tells you? Like if somebody was going to say, how much do you think it would cost me to become a single digit? What's your gut reaction?
20 grand.
20 grand, okay.
Yeah. It also depends on how diligent you are about spending money smart. Because you can find a great coach for not that much, but you're going to have to look for him. Yes. So if you, then that goes into time. So are you counting like time you spend looking for a coach?
If there's any coaches out there, if you're in West Palm or Southern Florida and you're a coach, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on, like, if you get a guy who's telling you the right things and you are actioning those things, you're actually like taking efforts to put those things into play. I think it could be within a year.
Okay, so
I think 1 year and $20,000. That's my guess.
So sub 12 months and 20 grand.
And that's my estimation if you don't change your self-talk. If you change your self-talk, I honestly think you could do it in half that.
You think 10 months, 10 grand, 6 months?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
If you start convincing yourself that you're a good player, I think you could cut that time in half. I really do.
All right, we'll see.
Good luck.
If you want to follow along in the journey so you can see for yourself how much time and how much money does it take, go ahead and subscribe or 3-putt the rest of your life.